No, to your left, to your left. Big old school. Holy. I shoot when you shoot. 3, 2, 1, go. Ah!
Oh no! Did we both?
We both.
The same one? Oh my God!
That's a.
I knew we were gonna shoot. He was the closest one. I was like, should I let Ryan? I was like,
Right here. Oh yeah.
Oh my God!
Alright guys, let's talk about silver carp. Normally, I'll only see big schools of silver carp out in like the main channels of rivers, not so much inlets or creeks or like stagnant bodies of water. Sometimes they'll be in there. But a majority of silver carp are going to be out in the main channel of your river. Now, if the current's too fast or if the wind's really blowing hard, I usually won't even bother bow fishing that day because I just won't be able to see anything. But on like nice calm water, which has got some current to it, and a good hot day, that's golden for silver carp.
Oh yeah. And he got off.
A general rule that I think is mostly true when it comes to silver carp is that if you can see the bottom of your river, there's probably not going to be silver carp there. And I bow fish in a really muddy river. Basically what that rule translates to is if your water is like a foot to a foot and a half deep, you're probably not going to see any silver carp. If it's deeper than that, then your chances of seeing carp go a lot higher. Now, silver carp are filter feeders, meaning they don't like actively seek out prey. They just kind of open their mouth and hope for the best, and like microorganisms and algae particles will float into their mouth. They'll eat them and they'll digest them, and that's kind of just how they live their life. Now, that works to our benefit, at least bow fishers' benefit, because whenever they're feeding at the surface of the water and they're opening and shutting their mouth, that's going to create ripples in your water. And so as long as your river or your body of water is somewhat calm, you'll be able to see those ripples. And in a big school that are all feeding towards the surface, you'll be able to tell that there's a huge school of silver carp out there. And I have a really good video clip of that.
They're all up here. Oh! Now we're starting to get back in the swing.
So looking for those bobs or those ripples in the water is a really good way to find schools of fish. Another kind of cool way to figure out where schools of carp are to look at the birds. And when I say that, you're probably thinking it's something really cool, and it's not. It is a little cool, but it's nothing crazy. Whenever I'm out on the river and I see one of those big, I don't even know what kind of birds, they're the big long birds that are by the river. Yeah. And if they fly over a school of carp, sometimes you'll see carp jump out of the water because they're spooked. And whenever you see that happening, that doesn't mean that those fish are going to be there, but that does mean that there are Asian carp in the area. If you spook a school once, wait like 5 or 10 minutes and see if it comes back. And if you spook it twice, you might as well just move on. Or just continue to move on, because chances are if you see one school of silver carp, there's going to be a lot more up or down river. Now, you probably will need polarized sunglasses to see a lot of silver carp, and whenever I do spot silver carp, I really only see their head, and their head's a lot darker than the rest of their body. And so I think that's why I get a lot of headshots, is because the head is really all that I can see. You'll see like the outline of their gill plate. Sometimes you'll see their mouth moving, and you'll be able to see their eyes.
That's a headshot.
So real quick, the main points of this video, you're going to see a lot more silver carp in deeper water than you will in very, very shallow water. If it's a hot, calm day, you'll probably see bobs or ripples on the surface of the water. If you see those, it's probably going to be a silver carp. And if you see one silver carp, there's probably a lot more in the area. You can also just like be observant and look at birds flying around your river, and if they fly over a school of carp and they're close enough to where the shadow is cast on those fish, it'll spook them. They'll jump up and they'll be spooked, but at least you'll know that there's carp in the area. And for the most part, you'll see just like their dark heads. And I know in a lot of my videos you can't see the carp very well, but once you get some polarized sunglasses on and you go out on the river and you start to see carp, you kind of get a knack for knowing exactly what to look for. And that's just not exactly anything I can explain to you in words. You'll just have to go out there and experience it yourself. So hopefully you found something of use in this video. If you didn't, sorry, there's nothing I can do. But if you have any questions or just want to talk about bow fishing, I love talking about bow fishing, drop something down in the comments and I'll be happy to talk with you. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
Oh, this is a good sized carp.